Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Have you ever felt that movies are more than just entertainment? That sometimes moral battlegrounds of Gotham City. And from the cold vacuum of space to the gritty realism of a prison cell, we are exploring the most powerful narratives ever put on screen. These films have secrets, hidden meanings, and emotional cores that often go unnoticed on our first watch. So if you love deep dive analysis, cinematic storytelling, and stories that leave you thinking for days, you are in the right place. We're going to dissect the heroes, the villains, and the moments that shifted the landscape of movie history forever. Grab your popcorn, settle in, and get ready because we're starting our top 8 cinematic breakdown right now. The Dark Knight serves as a gritty, Shakespearean tragedy that transcends the traditional superhero genre, transforming Gotham City into a volatile battleground for the human soul. The narrative centers on Bruce Wayne, who continues his crusade as Batman, working alongside Lieutenant Jim Gordon and District Attorney Harvey Dent to dismantle the city's organized crime syndicates. However, the fragile order they struggle to maintain is shattered by the arrival of the Joker, an agent of pure, nihilistic chaos who operates without an origin, a plan, or any desire for material gain. The Joker's primary objective is to prove that even the most virtuous people, like Harvey Dent, are only one bad day away from descending into the same madness that consumes him. Throughout the film, the Joker subjects Gotham to a series of escalating atrocities, forcing Batman into impossible moral dilemmas that test his commitment to his no-kill policy. The conflict reaches a devastating climax when the Joker captures both Harvey Dent and Rachel Dawes, the woman Bruce loves, and rigs them with explosives in separate locations. Through a cruel deception, the Joker leads Batman to the wrong location, resulting in the death of Rachel and the horrific scarring of Dent, which triggers the total psychological collapse of Gotham's White Knight. As Dent transforms into the vengeful Two-Face, he begins a murderous rampage, seeking retribution against those he believes responsible for his descent. Batman is forced to make the ultimate sacrifice to preserve the city's hope. He takes the blame for Dent's crimes, allowing himself to become a pariah and a hunted fugitive to ensure that the public retains their belief in the hero Harvey Dent represented. The film's final act is a profound meditation on the necessities of lies in the face of insurmountable evil. As Gordon declares, Batman, a dark night, the caped crusader vanishes into the night, having accepted the burden of being the hero Gotham needs but not the one it deserves. The narrative concludes with the haunting realization that true heroism often involves the loss of one's own identity and reputation to secure a future for others, solidifying the film's status as a harrowing exploration of ethics, power, and the dark cost of maintaining order in a world teetering on the edge of anarchy. Fight Club presents a visceral, psychological descent into the hollow core of modern consumerist society, where the protagonist, an unnamed insomniac trapped in a soul-crushing corporate existence, finds an unlikely escape through the charismatic and nihilistic Tyler Durden. The narrator's life is defined by his collection of mass-produced furniture and a profound sense of spiritual emptiness. But everything shifts when he meets Tyler, a soap salesman who embodies everything the narrator is not: uninhibited, dangerous, and utterly free from societal expectations. Together they establish the Fight Club, a secret underground fraternity that allows men to shed their white-collar facades and rediscover their primal instincts through brutal, bare-knuckle violence. And as the movement gains traction and evolves into Project Mayhem, an anti-corporate, domestic terrorist cell aimed at erasing the world's debt and leveling the social hierarchy, the narrator becomes increasingly disturbed by Tyler's fanatical influence and escalating cruelty of their followers. The narrative reaches its shattering climax when the narrator realizes the horrifying truth that has been hidden in plain sight throughout the film. Tyler Durden is not a separate entity, but a dissociative identity, a projection of the narrator's own suppressed desires, frustrations, and latent aggression. This revelation forces a violent confrontation between the man's conscious self and his chaotic alter ego, leading the narrator to take a desperate, self-destructive action by shooting himself in the mouth to kill the Tyler persona. The film concludes with the narrator standing hand in hand with his love interest, Marla Singer, watching from a skyscraper as the city's financial district collapses in a series of controlled explosions in a literal and metaphorical dismantling of his previous reality. It is a bleak, provocative masterpiece that challenges the viewer to question the stability of their own identity and the sanity of a culture obsessed with status, proving that sometimes the only way to find yourself is to destroy everything you are told to value. The Prestige serves as a haunting, intricately layered exploration of obsession, rivalry, and the ultimate price of greatness in the cutthroat world of 19th century stage magic. The story centers on two young magicians, Robert Angier and Alfred Borden, whose burgeoning friendship is shattered by a tragic accident during a water tank escape trick that results in the death of Angier's wife. This singular event transforms their professional competition into a lifelong, venomous feud as Anzia becomes consumed by the singular, burning need to discover the secret behind Borden's signature trick. The transported man, while Borden performs the feat with an inexplicable ease that suggests a profound secret. Angier spends years tracking him across continents, descending into a spiral of darkness and unethical scientific experimentation. He eventually enlists the help of Nikola Tesla to construct a machine of impossible power, hoping it will allow him to surpass Borden and reclaim his place as the ultimate showman. Throughout the film, the narrative weaves a web of journals, hidden identities, and elaborate stage deceptions, forcing the viewer to scrutinize every detail for clues that are hidden in plain sight as the rivalry pushes them both to the brink of ruin and madness. The film reveals the chilling truth: Borden's secret was a twin brother, a shared life of complete sacrifice, while Angier's prestige required him to create and destroy a copy of himself every single night, effectively committing suicide to achieve the perfect illusion. The tragedy is that both men traded their humanity for their craft, losing the people they loved and the lives they could have lived in pursuit of a momentary gasp of awe from an audience. In the final, devastating moments, the film exposes the hollowness of their victory, leaving behind a legacy of bodies and secrets that prove that in the pursuit of perfection, the most important things, trust, love, and a sense of self, are the first things to be sacrificed at the altar of the stage. Interstellar serves as an epic, emotional odyssey that bridges the gap between the cold, indifferent physics of the universe and the enduring, transcendent power of human connection. The narrative is set in a near future where Earth is dying, choked by global dust storms and a failing food supply, forcing humanity to confront its inevitable extinction. Joseph Cooper, a former NASA pilot turned farmer, is recruited for a desperate mission to travel through a mysterious wormhole near Saturn in search of a new home for mankind. Cooper leaves behind his young daughter, Murphy, who remains haunted by his departure, marking the beginning of a profound separation that spans decades and galaxies due to the intense time dilation caused by the immense gravity of the planets they visit. The team's journey is defined by grueling hardships. They descend into water worlds where every hour spent on the surface equates to years back on Earth, and they battle the crushing isolation of deep space, all while attempting to reconcile its scientific data required to save the species with the personal, visceral memories of the lives they left behind. As Cooper discovers that the mission was Rosa's futile effort to secure a future by sacrificing the current generation, he realizes that the only way to send the necessary quantum data back to his daughter, who has become a brilliant physicist on Earth, is to dive into the heart of a singularity within this five-dimensional tesseract. Cooper communicates across time and space, proving that love is not just a poetic sentiment, but a quantifiable force that can bridge the distance between stars. The film concludes with a poignant, bittersweet reunion. Cooper returns to find his daughter as an elderly woman, surrounded by her own family, while he remains unchanged in age, a ghostly traveler from a bygone era. Interstellar ultimately posits that while the universe is vast, uncaring, and governed by cold mathematical laws, the human drive to love, protect, and reach beyond our limitations is what ensures our survival, leaving the viewer with a sense of awe at both the cosmic scale of existence and the fragile, beautiful intimacy of a father's promise to return home. 7 stands as a definitive exploration of moral decay, despair, and the crushing weight of indifference in a nameless, rain-drenched urban hellscape. The narrative follows 2 detectives, the veteran William Somerset, who is just days away from a long-awaited retirement, and the impulsive, naive David Mills, who has just transferred to the precinct with his wife, Tracy. Together they are tasked with hunting a meticulous, religiously motivated serial killer who orchestrates elaborate, gruesome tableau representing the 7 deadly sins: gluttony, greed, sloth, lust, pride, envy, and wrath. As the investigation deepens, Somerset begins to perceive a pattern that transcends mere crime. He sees an indictment of a society that has become comfortably numb to the presence of evil, while Mills remains steadfast in his belief that he can still make a tangible difference in the world. The killer, known only as John Doe, turns out to be a figure of haunting intelligence, who believes he is an instrument of divine retribution, tasked with showing the world the true nature of its own depravity. The film builds toward a devastating conclusion in a desolate, sun-bleached field, where John Doe orchestrates his final masterstroke. He surrenders to the police, but only after revealing he has murdered Tracy and kept her head in a box. In an act of unbearable, scripted perfection, Doe reveals that he committed the sin of envy, and by goading Mills into murdering him, he forces the detective to succumb to the sin of wrath. Somerset and Mills are left shattered by the realization that Doe has achieved a final perverse victory, proving that in a world devoid of virtue, the most heinous acts are ultimately rewarded by the collapse of those who try to oppose them. 7 is unrelenting, a nihilistic masterpiece that challenges the viewer to look into the darkness of human nature and acknowledge that sometimes the struggle for justice is not only futile but serves only to complete the villain's design, leaving nothing behind but the deafening silences of a broken spirit and the cold reality of an unforgiving world. The Shawshank Redemption is a profound, slow-burning testament to the power of human endurance and the fragile, essential nature of hope in the face of systemic oppression. The story begins with the wrongful conviction of Andy Dufresne, a soft-spoken banker who is sentenced to 2 consecutive life terms at Shawshank State Penitentiary for the murder of his wife and her lover. From the very beginning, Andy is a stranger in a brutal, dehumanizing environment where the warden is corrupt. The guards are sadistic, and the inmates are broken. However, instead of succumbing to the crushing weight of his imprisonment, Andy maintains an inner sanctity that baffles his fellow prisoners, most notably Ellis Regding, the prison's black market contraband dealer. Over the course of 2 decades, Andy uses his financial acumen to manipulate the prison's hierarchy, eventually becoming the warden's personal accountant, laundry launderer, and architectural assistant, all while secretly constructing a tunnel through the wall of his cell with a tiny rock hammer. The film captures the agonizingly slow passage of time, focusing on the small occur in the quiet pauses between the violent. It is a cynical, exhilarating, and deeply human work that posits that even the most broken, morally compromised individuals are searching for meaning in a world that rarely offers clear answers, leaving a legacy of cool, calculated irony and raw, visceral power that continues to influence the landscape of storytelling today. As we conclude this journey through these 8 cinematic milestones, it becomes clear that the power of film lies not just in its ability to entertain, but in its capacity to mirror our own human condition. Whether we are exploring the layered subconscious of our dreams, the moral fractures of a city in chaos, the destructive nature of our own obsessions, or the relentless, enduring light of hope within a prison cell, these films have consistently challenged us to confront the deepest truths about who we are and what we value. They have shown us that heroes are often flawed, villains are often tragic, and the line between reality and illusion is thinner than we dared to believe. Through Inception, we learn that peace is a personal choice. Through The Dark Knight, we faced the necessity of sacrifice. Through Fight Club, we saw the danger of a hollow identity. Through The Prestige, we witnessed the cost of perfection. Through Interstellar, we found the cosmic necessity of love. Through Seven, we felt the chilling weight of indifference. Through The Shawshank Redemption, we embraced the invincible nature of hope. And through Pulp Fiction, we navigated the fragmented, absurd randomness of life itself. These stories have become more than just art. They have become the shared vocabulary of our culture, reminding us that no matter how dark the world seems or how lost we might feel, there is always a narrative waiting to be told that can illuminate our path. Cinema remains the most potent tool we have for empathy, reflection, and discovery, proving that as long as we keep watching, analyzing, and questioning the stories on screen, we remain deeply engaged in the ongoing process of understanding our own lives. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the heart of modern film. Stay curious, keep watching, and I'll see you in the next one.